Hi guys, and welcome to another Watch Geek video. Today we're featuring yet another Aerotec, and this is their take on a super compressor styled watch. It's called the Black Label Wave, and this colorway is called Pineapple. So as you can see, it's a very summer vibe looking watch with this yellow and green, and also the whole dial is textured. Now in this video, I don't know how much you're gonna see it, but in real life, as you move towards or away from the light, the dial does come alive, and I really do like this texture. When it comes to the watch itself, it's a typical super compressor styled watch, and I love this one because it's slightly on the smaller size. So it's 39 millimeters in diameter with just 46 millimeter lug to lug. Even the thickness is not too terrible because it's 13.5 with this highly domed crystal. When you remove the crystal, it drops to 11.5, meaning that the watch sits very low. As you can see, it doesn't have a lot of protruding caseback, so it really feels and wears really nicely on my wrist, even though I have a very small 6.5-inch wrist. Now, the one thing that separates this from other super compressor styled watches from other micro brands that I've reviewed is the quality of these crowns. Now, when I received the watch, I didn't read anything about it. I just started to play with it, and I noticed that their crowns are incredibly smooth to operate. The screw in and screw out action is on the level of some of the most expensive watches that I reviewed so far. So when I went online to check out the brochure and to check out the specs, I noticed that one of the features said super smooth crown. Now, if I read that before I handled the watch, I would just think it's just another marketing gibberish, but since I handled the watch and when I saw that inscription, I was like, oh, so that's why they're so smooth to operate. Another very cool detail is that as soon as you start unscrewing the crowns, the crown tubes are actually orange. So you start seeing them. So you can always see before you go into the water whether the watch is properly sealed. And this orange tube is found on both the crown for the time and the crown for the inner rotating bezel. Another very good quality is the way you operate the bezel. Usually these cheaper watches that mimic super compressor watches have a problem with these screw-in crowns, because as soon as you start screwing in the crown, even though you push it, the mechanism doesn't always disengage and you start moving the bezel even though you set it to a certain time. With this, they really made that disengagement very positive and very sure. So once you push in the crown, you're no longer touching the inner rotating bezel, and you can freely screw it in. It's not gonna move accidentally. Also, the inner bezel it doesn't have clicks, but it does have some kind of clicky resistance. So it's not as easy to move as those that are just friction fitted and just wobble around. So very cool, and very cool detail with these orange ones. Another thing that gives a nod to these vintage super compressor watches is the fact that the two crowns are differently signed. So while this one has these hashes that are usually used on vintage super compressor styled watches, and this one is used for the bezel, the one used for the time is signed with their Aerotec logo. And I do like their logo, and I do like their DNA, because Aerotec is one of the very few brands that always remains original, that each and every model is completely different to the other one, but they always share some kind of a connecting DNA. In this case, it's the hour hand that mimics the logo. They really go well hand in hand, and the only small detail that I wish they included is that the hole on the hour hand doesn't line up with the hole of the logo. Now, I understand they did this to give the hands proper ratio compared to the dial, but I just wish they included that. That would be so cool if everything lined up. But overall, the watch is very cool, and I do like the font they created for the numerals, because they're massive and they're very much filled with lume. So the lume is excellent when it comes to the dial, the markers and hands, and only slightly weaker on the rotating bezel. But the rotating bezel is not as much weak, as this is very strong. So very cool. Another step up for Aerotec is the use of a Miyota 9039, which is a more premium movement than the Seiko NH35 and 38 that I usually use. And another feature is the bracelet. Usually Aerotec will ship their watches on straps, but this one got the bracelet, and it's an excellent bracelet. It comes with solid links, solid end links. You even get quick release pins, and you get a machined clasp with on-the-fly adjustment. So as you can see, it's right here. You can push it in, and if you press this, you can pull it out. And I do like the way it's designed because it doesn't add too much bulk to the watch. It's not very thick. I mean, it is slightly thicker than a regular one, but it's not overly thick, and it does balance the watch really well. So overall, this for $500 is on the more expensive side when it comes to super compressor styled watches, but given the Miyota 9039, given the super smooth crowns, which really are super smooth, and given the original design, I believe the price is more than acceptable. Another feature is the sapphire crystal that's found on both the front and the back. The front one comes with anti-reflective coating, and the whole watch is water resistant to 300 meters. One thing that, even though this is a very cool looking case back because it has this wave logo and you get to see the beautiful Miyota, I do prefer their traditional logos that come with a diver's helmet, and only the visor of the helmet is actually a piece of crystal, so you only see a fraction of the movement. But I always loved that diver's helmet, so this is a bit of a step away for them when it comes to their traditional casebacks, but they kept these round notches, which I also like because they look so industrial and look like a piece of marine equipment. So overall, an excellent effort from Aerotec. And because this model was so successful, with all the variants being sold out except this green one, which I believe will be sold out very soon as well, they will be launching a couple more colorways, including an aventurine dial. So do check them out and follow their page for the launch of those. And if you were interested in this one, like I said, this is the only one that's available so far. I mean, as of this moment. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed and found it useful. If you did, please like and subscribe. And until the next video, bye.